If you are ready for an amazing transformational experience, then you need to stay tuned for this next hour for a master's practice with Dr. Aisha Hogan. She is a leading specialist in holistic methodologies and the creator of a powerful integrative technique called enhanced energy communication. A master, clinical and metaphysical hypnotherapist, a well-respected author, a master of the mind, and highly sought international speaker. Get ready for a major breakthrough. And now, your soul guru, holistic transformational specialist, and host of a master's practice, Dr. Aisha Hogan.
Hi there, everyone, and welcome to a master's practice, and I'm Dr. Aisha Hogan. So I hope you enjoyed the episode last week. This week we have someone amazing for you again, and I'd like to introduce you to Sarah Jean Butler. She is a NIA practitioner, a black belt. I'm going to let her explain all of that to you. She is also a hypnotist as well. So let's just meet Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Aisha.
How are you doing today?
I'm well. I'm a little nervous. It's my first radio show, so that's fun.
You will do amazingly well. So I want to thank you, number one, for being on the show. But secondly, I want to ask you, what exactly is NIA dance?
Okay, well, first of all, it's NIA technique. It's movement, not necessarily dance, although dance is part of our practice.
Okay.
And so NIA is primarily a fitness practice. It is a physical conditioning program. And then secondarily, it is a lifestyle program. So there's a lot of philosophy and a lot of practice that can be taken out into your life. So we practice on the dance floor, and then we take it out into the world so that we can be, the best people that we can be.
That's awesome. So what is the acronym? Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I've got a lot of questions for you. I was doing some reading on it, so I've got some great questions for you. But what is the acronym for NIA exactly?
Okay, so originally NIA stood for non-impact aerobics. That was back in the 80s. The founders of NIA are Debbie Rosas and Carlos Rosas. And Debbie ran an aerobics empire called the Bod Squad in California. It was highly successful, and Carlos was one of her teachers. And they just realized people were getting really injured in the aerobics industry and wanted to develop a better way to move into fitness without injury. So that's how non-impact aerobics came about. So, our practice is non-impact. And we also practice barefoot. So this is really different than most movement classes that you'll go to.
Now, I read something about neuromuscular integrative action.
Yeah, so that came about later as a I don't know all the details. I can't explain how non-impact aerobics became neuromuscular integrative action, but neuromuscular integrative action basically means mind-body. So now it's just NIA, the same way that Pilates and yoga, and it doesn't stand for anything except itself. NIA is NIA.
Okay,
That's
great.
my understanding anyway. Yeah.
Okay, so I find that it's not as well known as it should be.
Correct. Yeah, I agree. It's an interesting phenomenon. I mean, it's been around for 35 years, and it's practiced in, I think it's 45 countries or so now. There's, teachers all over the world. So it's definitely in the culture and on the planet everywhere, but it's not mainstream. And so that's why it's not well known.
It really should be. Can you just break down, so when you're training for NIA, what exactly are you learning? So where do these moves come from?
Okay, so there's different levels of investment. So the first level would be you just go to a class. So if you want to come and move, I would say, people who love music and love to dance to music are going to love NIA. That's a generalization. Right. So in that way, it's for everyone unless you don't like music. If you don't like music, it's probably not for you, because music is a huge tool in our practice. So the first level would be you just go to a class and you get all the benefits of going to an exercise class, of being in a group of people, of being seen and heard, and there's a lot of healing that can happen, as well as the physical conditioning. And then the next level would be that you would take a training. Our first level of training is white belt. And then you really dig into somatic experiential learning. So you're learning about your body and sensations of the body and listening to your body. And this is, interestingly, a skill a lot of people never learn. So it can be quite mind-blowing.
But the really cool thing about NIA is that it's made up of, now, from what I read, a certain number of steps, and these break out in different, like there's parts of it that come from where? From martial arts, from...
Right.
Like where are these moves coming from?
Okay, so in NIA we have 9 movement forms that we draw from. So we're not actually practicing these movement forms, but we use the energy and chemistry. So we have 3 dance arts, and 3 martial arts, and 3 healing arts, which I will be happy to list for you. And we use each of these to inform the movement. Then we have what you're referring to as the 52 moves, which are designed from the anatomy, the design of the body. We use the anatomy of the body to inform us how to move in a healthy, safe way. And so that's our 52 moves, which is basically our alphabet that we use to create routines from. So that when you come to a class, we're putting these 52 moves to music in ways that are fun and playful and experimental and become a NIA class. Is that what you're referring to, the moves?
Yeah, that, and also, again, like the belt system. So there is a belt system, which I haven't heard in any other kind of, outside of martial arts, of course, any other kind of fitness training.
Right. So that does come from the martial arts. That's one of the gifts that comes to NIA through our martial arts study. And back in the day, the first thing that Debbie and Carlos did is they went to a martial arts dojo and said, teach us how to move. And the sensei, or the instructor, he said, okay, show me how to move. And they didn't know what he was talking about. They started doing jumping jacks and leg lifts and, aerobics moves. And he's like, you don't know how to move. And that's how it began. And so they learned through Aikido and Taekwondo and Tai Chi, the study of these martial arts, how to move the body in ways that were holistic and healthy and, enriching to the body. So that's how the martial arts came in, and that's why we dance barefoot. It comes from that. And then the second is the dance. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Keep going.
So the
second is
the dance arts. So we draw from modern dance and jazz and Duncan dance. So the work of Isadora Duncan, and these 3 dance forms become, the juice for what we do. They energize what we do. And I can explain more. We got a lot of time, so I can explain more about what each of those might be. But let me first just say, then we have the 3 healing arts. So we have yoga and the work of Moshe Feldenkrais and the Alexander technique. So put together, this is 9 entire lifetime bodies of work that we have to draw from. So the chemistry that we can create in a NIA class using these movement forms there's infinite potential. I mean, it's just, there's no limit on what creativity we can bring drawing from these 9 movement forms.
Right.
So, that makes it, And just to quickly talk about what you said about the belt system, is that the white belt is the entry level of training. So, everybody is the white belt first, and lots of people do it that don't want to teach. It's a trip into your body. It's about learning about yourself. And so that's and then the next level of training is the green belt, and that's for people who really want to teach. It's the teaching belt, the art of teaching. So not everyone does the green belt, but people who want to teach will do it. And then the next level is blue belt, which is the art of communication. And then we have a brown belt and a black belt. And now, because it's 35 years, they're starting to be developing first-degree black and second-degree black. And these are just higher levels of training.
Have you taken those yet?
I'm a black belt.
Right.
So my next level would be first-degree black, and I don't have a plan for that yet. I'm moving in other directions, but eventually, sure, yeah, definitely. I mean, self-mastery is self-mastery, right? So if I want to keep growing and expanding and walking this path to self-mastery, then I will continue to take trainings. But there's no rush. You know, I like a lot of space in between my educational investments so that I can really embody them and not just rush over it. So someday.
Fair enough. That sounds good. Now, you mentioned that part of this was taken from martial arts. So for someone who, like me, like I boxed for many years and now I can't do any real impact type of stuff. And, you know, so when you hear that it's coming from martial arts, what would you say to someone like that was maybe a little bit timid to be getting into it, because martial arts is about kicking and punching and, you know, different things. And so how would that fit for someone?
Right. So first of all, there's a huge range of martial arts. So yes, we do punching and kicking and power moves, blocking, and moves that work with precision and form and energy and explosive kind of, this is what you're talking about, that boxing energy. This is our Taekwondo. But then we balance that with Tai Chi, which is moving from the center, the slow dance, really bringing focus to weight shift and, you know, where the center of our body is moving through space. And then we have Aikido, which is, you know, spherical, harmonious motion, the win-win of Aikido, where we want to move in ways where energy is given and taken in equal amounts. And so turning and swirling and moving in spirals. So not all martial arts are kicking and punching, right?
Right.
A lot of martial arts are very slow, the slow dance, the dance of control even. Right. And so it's always possible as well. One of the beautiful things about Nia, especially for a beginner, but for everybody, is that it can be adapted. So if I'm at the front of the room and I'm kicking and I'm punching and that's just not feeling good in your body today, then you can be softer with those movements. You know, you don't have to take out an opponent. You could just gently move your body in the same path of movement, you know, the same anatomical path without needing to bring that kind of force to it. But then, you know, I'll have people in my class, for instance, who are injured or dancing with something that limits their mobility, and so they might adapt to something more Tai Chi. But then I also have professional dancers in my class and people in my class who are very athletic. And so they might take a softer movement and energize it with more Taekwondo, give it more force so that they're really working the muscles and raising their heart rate and getting that exhilarating workout, right? So this is, I would say, one of the hallmarks and one of the things that makes Nia so adaptable is that you make it your own in every class on any given day. So you don't need to worry, Aisha. I know that you would have no problem with the martial arts. Maybe
awesome.
The slow part.
Oh yeah, for sure. I like to pretend that I still have the power. So.
But you know, there's a lot of healing, and something I've learned through teaching for 11 years, and particularly moving into teaching the Moving to Heal program, is that slowing down is often where the medicine is.
Right.
And I mean, you know, you've known me long enough that you know I'm high energy. I like to go, and I've always been all about the Taekwondo and the jazz and really wanting to sweat and go for it. But in the past few years, I've been exploring the slow movement, and honestly, there is so much power in slowing down and bringing awareness to to sensation. I mean, I wouldn't have believed it. It took me 8 years of, teaching Nia to start to get an appreciation for how powerful slow movement can be on strength and stability and healing. Like it's something, it takes a lot of patience.
Well, we're going to be talking definitely about the amazing benefits of Nia, because I ran across an article that was written by the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation regarding the benefits of Nia, and I learned some things today. But first thing, before I get into that, and we can do that in the next segment, but what I want to ask you is, I'm sure you've heard of this, what is the acronym STOP? S-T-O-P. Have you
What
heard
is
that?
the acronym? I haven't. Did that come out of the multiple sclerosis article?
Well, it came out of some Nia articles, so maybe I'm going to teach you something today. So S-T-O-P is S for soften your face, T for take a deep breath, O for open your heart, and P to pull down your shoulders.
Wow. That all sounds like good advice.
So that was written in one of the Nia articles that I had run across today.
Right.
So the acronym is STOP.
I would not consider that part of the Nia. Oh, hello?
That's okay. We will be back.
Okay.
We're going to be going to a break now. And hold tight. We're going to learn some really cool stuff about moving to heal.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
OMTimes magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. Connect at OMTimes.com. OMTimes, creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Have you bought into the idea that you have to work hard for your money, that business is hard? I will share some dynamic access consciousness tools to get you out of your own way so you can create a business that actually succeeds. Join me, Simone Millicers, on The Joy of Business at 4 p.m. Mondays Eastern.
Are you ready to live your life depression-free? Are you having thoughts of ending things? Wondering what life would be like without chronic pain? How about no longer suffering the effects of trauma and PTSD? Are you tired of having your credibility questioned because you look fine and no one understands that you are struggling with an invisible disorder? Hi, I'm Dr. Aisha Hogan, and I'm a holistic transformation specialist. I work with clients from all over the world to aid them in eliminating, that's right, you heard me, eliminating their current struggles and challenges. I don't work with symptoms. That's like putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. I'm all about root cause and all the levels of you, as each one of us is unique. Ready to transform your life for good? To move into the best version of yourself and reach your unlimited potential? Then book your complimentary 1-hour online consultation with me by going to www.aishahogan.com. That's A-Y-S-E Hogan.com. And it will take you right to my clinic, the Chakra House of Healing. I look forward to meeting you there.
I'm Fidel Nsombo. I was born in a city called Bukavu in the Congo. We were a loving family, and then, boom, everything that I had disappeared in a single day. People think that when you are a refugee and they resettle you to America and all your problems are done. They don't understand that that's the beginning of everything. I was not born a refugee. I was made one.
It's time we welcome refugee families with open arms. Learn more at embracerefugees.org, brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hi there. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Aisha Hogan with A Master's Practice, and today we have guest Sarah Jean Butler, Nia Black Belt from Nia Technique. You know what? I really don't know how to say that, Sarah. How do I say who you are?
You know, Sarah Jean Butler works fine. I have a black belt in the Nia Technique, and I am a Nia teacher.
Okay, well, there you go. So before we went on to break, I was talking about how I had read about Nia in the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation in their magazine. And what I would like to talk to you about right now is people don't really understand, or I didn't even appreciate, even though I have done Nia once or twice with you, the benefits of Nia to the body. So let's talk about that a bit, because I had read, and I'm just going to give you a quick list of the things that I found out. So it was Nia, they find Nia now in drama departments in schools. They actually have Nia in prisons, in drug and cardiac rehabilitation centers for people with eating disorders, mental illness, survivors of abuse, both physical and sexual, autism, Down syndrome, chronic illnesses. So to me, this is awesome. So let's talk about this movement to heal and how it can help in these different things.
Okay. Excellent. So moving to heal, Nia has a bunch of different modalities, ways to offer the Nia program. And moving to heal is one of them. We also have interval training called Move It. We have 5 stages training. We have floor play training. There's all different kinds of things. So I just want to say that first. Moving to heal is one aspect of Nia and one of the offerings that we have. So I do teach a Moving to Heal class, and the first hallmark of it is that it's adaptable. So the class that I teach will depend on, or what I offer will depend on who's in front of me. So there's people, I live in Toronto, and there's people in Toronto who teach specialty specific audiences. So people with Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, or as you mentioned. For me, I teach Moving to Heal as an open class, so it's open to anybody, and I get a wide variety of people coming to that class. So it's really adaptable depending on who you're teaching for. And you're talking about specific audiences and people who have perhaps other training or have worked, in specific environments. So I wouldn't, for instance, encourage someone to go into a specialized population unless they had some other training or knowledge. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go work with a population that I don't have the training to work with, even though I am highly trained in Nia. So that is a consideration. For instance, there are people who teach Moving to Heal in diverse populations who are nurses or who, have that kind of background. There's a woman in New York who's really developed comprehensive programs of working with populations with Parkinson's, and there's been incredible results.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I guess my question was not so much like, do you teach all of these, but why or how does movement, you and I might understand this, but how does it help to heal the body?
Well,
outside the obvious, like dancing makes our soul happy, but how does it really heal the body?
Okay, so these are both simple and complex questions. So the simple answer is everything that's alive moves. And so to promote life and the sense of aliveness, the sensation of aliveness in the body, we need to move. We need to move physically, we need to move emotionally, we need to move mentally, and we need to move in our relationship to spirit. And this is what Nia offers. So when we are able to flow those energy through those realms, we call them, the physical realm, the emotional realm, the mental realm, the realm of spirit, then we feel a sense of aliveness, and then we heal. So in Nia, we follow the pleasure principle. Everything we do is about feeling good. And, this is probably why I've stuck with it for so long. It's like, I want to feel good. And so we promote developing the ability to move in ways that feel good. So you can see how on the simple level, this is so healing for people to feel pleasure in their movement. And also to feel that all levels of their being are addressed. So when we move, we also express and make sounds and use our imagination and interact with each other. So we have social healing going on. You know, we're using simple but complex ideas in an environment so that people are getting really a lot of bang for their buck. So when we go into a special population and we're engaging people in ways that they're just not getting any other way. They're not getting from any other front, right? They get to be in a group. They get to play music maybe they've known before or that stimulates them in different ways. They get to do fun things and laugh and be silly and pretend to do things. This is all extremely healing.
I was really fascinated with the fact that, I mean, most of these special populations are amazing, but I was really fascinated with 3 of them. And I think it was the survivors of abuse, because number one, when we have suffered from or struggled with or been challenged with or had our body violated in some way, it's really nice to be able to find that freedom, I think, within your body. It's, you know, we usually go for, those people go for, usually for some sort of talk therapy. But it's really nice for them to be able to go for some kind of physical, call it a physical therapy in a sense. It kind of is, where they can just kind of not be told what to do, as, you know, like, you know, raise your arm here and do this, but allow themselves to disappear into that music and find their freedom within themselves.
And not just freedom, Aisha, but safety. So, you know, when we're in an environment that is safe and space is held for us, and we can move in ways that are authentic, and nobody's judging and nobody's, you know, telling us to be different than we are, and we can really allow movement to bring up emotion and feeling and trauma in the body in a safe environment where, you know, we don't have to explain ourselves. The great thing about Nia is we feel all the feels on the dance floor, but nobody's going to say, well, tell me now what happened to you. You know, I have the opportunity on the dance floor to feel the things I feel and to let that energy move out of the stuck places in my body without talking about it. So in a lot of ways, it's a beautiful complement to talk therapy. Because, you know, we bring those ideas into our mind, but the stuck places in our body, they don't release until we move it. You've got to move it.
Yeah, I mean,
talk.
I'm listening to you talk about this, and I'm fascinated because, you know, anyone who's taken any kind of like sessions with me knows that I don't really talk about people's past. I don't want them to talk about it. I don't want them to relive it. So that's why I find this in the more physical sense to be so helpful and such a gift for them to be able to release the energies and the memories and the things that are stuck.
Well, and just
stuck in the body.
Memory, the muscle memory. I mean, there's a lot of research done that when our, you know, fight or flight responses are stopped, like when we can't express fully our need to fight or flight or freeze, but we're, you know, hit by a car or a person or whatever that is, that those imprints become part of our physicality. And that until we can fully express them, they're going to keep coming back and coming back. So, you know, we offer in a huge variety of movement and energies so that these things can happen naturally and safely and slowly and, you know, without re-traumatizing. This is so important.
It's so important. And I'm sitting here thinking about this, and I'm thinking and remembering a time in my own life. But I think that the one time that would be the one thing that I think that it would decrease, and I could be wrong in this, but I think the one thing that it would decrease would be people's reactions to things. And I use as an example, I remember playing cards with somebody one day, and it was with a gentleman, and we were playing cards, and he was losing. because I'm good. So he was losing, and he got so angry that he picked up the cards and he threw them at me.
Mm-hmm.
But my reaction, without realizing it, was to curl up almost into a ball. This was quite some time ago. And he was just like taken aback by my reaction of like, what did you think I was going to do to you? And I think that because I'm a survivor of certain things in my life, I think that it's amazing. And I think that it would be such a great way for people to release that, to not allow their body to go into those ab reactions. So when you were talking about cellular memory, that's where my mind went right away, was that release of those types of ab reactions in the body.
Absolutely. And I mean, we've learned from nature, if an animal is traumatized, it'll go into shaking. And so a human being will do the same thing if they're allowed. So just here's a little, tip to take out into your life. If you're in any traumatic situation, and that can be almost anything, like if you're almost in a car accident or something, let your body shake and find a safe place to do that where you're supported, and shake and shake and shake. And this is the way that we do not imprint at the cellular level. And that's why animals, after something bad has happened to them or something traumatic, they have a big shake, and then they get up and shake it off, and then they go on, eating grass or whatever it is. So this is, we learn how we can not imprint trauma in a healthy way, and also how to release it. So you'll find in Nia, we do a lot of shaking. I mean, I wouldn't say we do more shaking than any other movement, but it's one thing we do, for sure.
Right.
And
that's
for
awesome.
that reason. And also because it feels good and it's fun.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So another part that I thought that was really cool was for people who are autistic. Like I thought that would be super interesting for them too, because there's, being autistic, they're used to doing things in a certain way all the time. And it's just nice to be able to help them to break away from that in a really kind of a fun way.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on where on the spectrum of autism a person might be. Sensory exploration can be tricky business for autistic people, or people who are living with autism. So it's that would really depend on who the person was. People are so individual, and so we wouldn't want to, it would require sensitivity and training to know how much sensory input to give a person. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you. Yeah, no, this is great for people to know, because I think that a lot of people who have autistic children are always looking for different ways to help them, and may not be aware that there is something like Nia out there for them as a possibility.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what was the third one?
Down syndrome.
Ah, interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know anyone who works with Down syndrome populations, and I'm not an expert in Down syndrome by any stretch, but all movement is good movement, and also play. I mean, yes. I don't think it's too much of a stretch to say that our children are losing their arenas for play.
Oh my God, are they ever?
Yeah, so any arena which gets them to play. And remember, people get into adulthood and they've never played, or they've forgotten. And in Nia, we play. I mean, in my class, we laugh. We work hard and we kick and we punch and dance and breathe and do all kinds of things, but there is a playfulness about it that is so healing to every, adult or child. It makes no difference. Everybody needs to play. That's my personal opinion. But
almost make you feel like you're not doing any exercise.
Often.
Because, when you're having fun, it's just like, oh, the hour went by and it was just so much fun.
This is very common in a Nia class to be like, what? How is that even possible? It's very rare I don't wish the class was longer, because it doesn't feel like exercise until it does.
So what are some of these? Sorry about that. So there are, from what I've read, also that there are, and I don't expect you to list them all, but maybe just a few. there's apparently 13 foundational principles.
Oh, wow. You
Nia.
have been doing some research.
I know, I've got to know what I'm talking about. So
there's actually 52 basic principles, but over 4 belts. But there are 13 basic principles in the white belt. So that's what you're reading, which is the first level of training, which is the entry level for everyone. And I recommend it for everyone. I mean, there's no human being that wouldn't benefit from a white belt training. It's learning about yourself and your body, and, you know, self-knowledge is always good, in my opinion. That's the way I live my life, is, you know, really wanting to learn about who I am and how I work and function in the world. So the white belt is awesome for that. So, for instance, the first principle is the joy of movement. Right. Very simple. We move in ways that are pleasurable. We move away from pain and towards pleasure. If something does not feel good, we tweak it to feel better. So we do something a little different. We, you know, change the angle of our foot or go a little less, or, you know, do it in a different way. And if it does feel good, then we do more of it. And it's really our philosophy that if your body enjoys the movement that it's getting, it'll choose to do more. It'll lean in to the movement. And I just want to say, one of the things I love about Nia is in this first principle, the joy of movement, we have triads in every principle. And the first triad, then the first word in the first triad of the first principle of Nia is the word choose. And this to me is really critical. You know, it's a choice. We choose. People aren't telling us what to do. People aren't making us do things. It's always a choice. And every single thing, the thousands of pages of philosophy and anatomy and craft and art and science that come after start with this first word, choose. And for me, that is what has kept me in Nia. It's like I am creating my own life, and it starts with this, and then choose, sensation, and joy are the first 3 words. And that's the first principle.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah. And we're not.
All right. We're just going to be, so we'll get right back. We're going to be taking another break, commercial break, and we will be right back with Sarah Jean Butler.
The future of Internet radio is here. OMTimes Radio, IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. AscendingHearts.com.
Tune in to The Practical Intuitive, Mind, Body, Spirit for the Real World with me, host Robin Fritz, Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 Eastern. I'll cover personal and business intuition, animal communication, mediumship, space clearing, past life regression, shamanic insights, energy healing, soul choice, and more, all to help you tap your own intuitive and healing skills. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Are you tired of being tired? If you're feeling overwhelmed in your mind and your body to the point where it is breaking your spirit, then it is time to take back control of your entire life in a whole new way. Come join us in Nashville, Tennessee, November 15th through 17th for a retreat filled with transformation and freedom, achieving methods and protocols. Learn real, ready-to-use exercises and techniques that will have you feeling better than you have probably ever felt. The healers at this event have more than 50 years of combined expertise in the art of making you feel well, bringing you tools that are so different than anything you have ever experienced before. This is a specialized event with personalized activities, so space is limited. Are you ready to make a serious breakthrough? If you want to experience massive healing in a short time, then this is something that cannot be missed. You deserve to have an amazing life. This is your opportunity to finally make it a reality. Ready to transform your world? Go to gururetreats.com and register now.
Opiates has taken everything and everyone I've ever loved away from me. Everything. I blew my ankle out and I got prescribed pain pills by my doctor. If making my detox public is going to help somebody, I'm all for it. I just wish I would have had a warning.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth. A message from Truth, the Ad Council, and ONDCP.
Hi there, I'm Dr. Aisha Hogan, and this is A Master's Practice, and we're here today with Sarah Jean Butler. So Sarah Jean, before we went to break, we were talking about just the first principle, and that was joy, and I didn't get the other two. It was sense
of move. Oh, yes, the joy of movement. Choose the sensation of joy. Yeah, I was just going to say that when we speak about joy, we're not talking about a mood. You know, this is not like, oh, I'm so happy. This is joy sensed as aliveness, life force flowing through the body. We call it capital J joy. And it's really connecting to, even if we're, sad or, feeling uncomfortable, or we can still connect to this universal sensation of joy or aliveness. So I just wanted to clarify that.
That's okay. That's great. So you are actually going to be one of the teachers at my retreat. We just heard that commercial on the commercial break there at the retreat that I'm holding in Nashville. So you are going to be conducting a moving to heal workshop. I'm stuttering over my own voice today. So that's awesome. And I'm thrilled that you're going to be there. There was one really cool thing that I wanted to ask you about, and that was you did the Rocky Horror Picture Show. You did the Rocky Horror Picture Show. And was that based, was the dance Nia, or was that something completely separate?
Well, it's not official Nia, but it's my Nia. So that is really a personal creation that I did as part of my own personal healing process. And it actually started with Jesus Christ Superstar. And that's, a rock opera that's really important to me and means a lot to me and kind of ties in. And my family's very theatrical and musical, and I grew up on that. And so the first routine that I ever choreographed was the rock opera musical Jesus Christ Superstar. And that's just for me. That is so that I can use Nia as an avenue for my own creativity, so that I'm stepping into a bigger version of myself. And so, when we started, we were talking about how the first kind of level of involvement is just go to a class. And then the next level would be take a white belt. And then the next level would be to step into teaching. And then after you've been teaching, then the next level after that would be to begin creating and to really access your inner creator. And then it goes on. Some people go on to become trainers and travel the world and do trainings everywhere. So that's not a path I'll be taking, but that's a valid path for sure.
Right.
So yes, but I did the Rocky Horror. Yeah, and it's fun. It's just good, campy fun. I mean, on a lot of levels, it was healing for me. First of all, I never liked Halloween, and I never liked dressing up. And so for me to dress up in, Frankenfurter clothes and get in front of a group of people and teach a class, if you would have told me 10 years ago that I would be capable of doing that, I would have laughed in your face. I would have said, that is absolutely never going to happen. So for me, it's been a huge healing to be able to, self-express in that way. And
that's awesome. You actually said that about the radio show too.
That's true. Well, it's true. Believe it or not, I'm an introvert, and being on a radio show is not necessarily something I would choose. But on the other hand, this path that I'm on is about, self-actualization. So if somebody says, hey, come on the show and talk about what you talk about all day anyway, why wouldn't I do that? And believe me, I wanted to not do it. And it was really my trainer, Martha Randall, who is the Canadian Nia trainer, who said, Sarah, you got to do this. Do it. And then she offered to practice with me and, gave me the support that I needed. So yeah.
Well, I want to take
definitely.
Go ahead. No, you go.
Well, I was just going to say, I definitely do a lot of things that are scary in my practice.
But that's good.
Part of learning and growing. Yeah, it's like and I don't believe in do something that scares you every day. I'm like, that's too much work. Not every day, but sometimes. Sometimes.
Yes. Now, before I want to make sure that we have time for this. So I'm going to ask this question before I move on to my next, and that how would someone go find out about, now I understand, I remember the last time we talked, that you were telling me that there was this new NIA TV or something. There was something where people could go and learn NIA and watch NIA and be a part of it from the comfort of their own home.
Absolutely. Check that out. The other thing I would say is a huge aspect of NIA is community and being in a group of people. So, NIA TV is brilliant, and I would also recommend people look for a local class. So you go to nianow.com. So it's NIANOW.com. And then there's an option to find a class, and you can put in your postal code and see who teaches near you. And then you can experience it. Yeah.
That's great. Now, there's also something called NIA Palooza. What is NIA Palooza?
NIA Palooza is an annual event which is produced by the community in and around London, Ontario. And we bring in international trainer Winnie Zeeb, and she lives in Michigan, and she comes and offers us a weekend of movement and community, and we do this every year. Yeah, so it's like a big NIA party.
So that's all for like NIA trainers and people who are taking their belts.
No, it's not at all. It's for anyone. It's for anyone. It's not just for trainers and belts. We do have some events that are just for belts. Continuing education, and I manage a group called NIA Share Canada, and so we do offer trainings and workshops and things for people who are already in the somatic, course of study who want more NIA education. But no, NIA Palooza is just for fun. It's open to everyone, and we often have master classes or events that are open to everybody, or even trainings. We bring Debbie every few years. She's the founder, Debbie Rosa, the co-founder of NIA, and we bring her every few years or other people in to just share their expertise and to keep Canada frosty on the NIA front.
That's awesome. I went on your Facebook page today, and I did. I was creeping you today. I was creeping you. So I went. I was today, I have to say. So if you felt like somebody was staring at you, that was me. So I went on, I was creeping you on your Facebook page today, Sarah Jean Butler, for anybody who wants to creep her out. Yeah. And I noticed that not only are you coming to my retreat in November, but you do several retreats in various places.
Yeah, so me and my NIA partner, Mary Baxter, who teaches NIA in Georgetown, she's born to move. You can find her anywhere on the internet. And she and I have teamed up for the last few years doing local retreats at the Ecology Retreat Center just outside of Orangeville. So we've got a weekend retreat coming up there in December 1st, and then we're branching out. Next year we've got a retreat. It's sold out, unfortunately, for you, but we're going to Newfoundland. We're taking 30 people to Newfoundland for a NIA retreat at a beautiful setting, the Doctor's House. And then we're going to Italy in October 2020, and then in 2021 we're going to Mexico. So yeah, we're kind of branching out into international destinations and just really wanting to dance and move and heal and gather in beautiful places. So
that is amazing.
That's what we're doing. I know. I'm kind of amazed myself. And then of course I'm going to Tennessee, and I'm also in between all those events going to trainings. Like I'm going to Texas in October for more training, and then I'm hoping to go to New Mexico in March for more training. And yeah, So
that's
it's
amazing.
never ending.
You're doing great stuff.
Yeah.
You're doing great stuff.
Yeah.
And you started off as, when I met you, you were studying hypnosis, like you were in one of my classes. Not my class, I was a student with you. And
yeah, we did a master class together, I believe. Yeah.
We did a master class together, but you were just really never into the hypnosis. Do you find that the hypnosis kind of helps you at all in what you're doing now?
Oh,
absolutely. Any of the techniques and the skills that you brought?
Oh, everything. My hypnosis exploration training, and then subsequent, I did a few years of kind of practice with clients. That work has changed me profoundly, and it's made me who I am. So I was into the hypnosis, especially I loved the training. The thing about me, Aisha, is that I'm an experiential learner. I don't want to write papers about things or talk too much about theory. I want to do things. And so when I was in my hypnosis training, I was learning so much and really challenging who I was and my belief systems, and it was incredible. I recommend hypnosis to everyone. I still do dabble in it for fun. But ultimately, for me, it's a bit lonely, the one-on-one, and I really enjoy the group, situation of Nia. I like to be in community, and I need that. I spend most of my time alone, and then I have these sort of classes where I'm, blast class of community energy. So I found that with hypnosis, and also, everybody has a body, and yes, everybody has a psyche and a mind and a spirit as well, but everybody has a body and everybody needs to move. And I just feel like movement is even more universal. And that's, let me clarify. I've got eternity to be a spirit, a soul, a consciousness, right? I'm going to be conscious.
Right.
That's my belief that came from my hypnosis training and my experience in hypnosis, that I'm an eternal being. But I have a limited time on this planet in this body, and I want to get the most out of this body that I can. So I want to be healthy. I want to seek pleasure. I want to have fun. I want to, have good sex. I want to eat good food. I want to have saunas, and you know what I'm saying? It really feels critical to me to explore the arts that focus on the body. And so for me, Nia covers all of that, as well as including the spirit aspect, the emotional health, and the mental. So, learning routines, studying the literature and the science of Nia and all that stuff. So it serves me on every level. Whereas hypnosis didn't serve my body. It served me on every level but my body. And I needed that. I'm 52 years old. I have 3 children. And I needed to move my body in a healthy, holistic way that was enhancing my life, that was sustainable and creating, a Sarah Butler that was fully actualized. And I found that hypnosis gave me so much, but it was missing the body piece.
Right.
And I find, if I can say it, again, I am a hypnotist, and that will always be something that I do and treasure and value. But a lot of hypnotists don't move. And I would love to get hypnotists moving. I think that that's a healing piece that's missing from the modality.
Come up with a Hypno-Nia?
Hypno-Nia, yeah. Oh, man.
Hypno-Nia.
Hypno-dancing, yeah. I'll let you do the hypnosis and I'll do the movement, and together we can
that
roll
sounds
the world.
good. That's amazing. That's amazing. So I want to thank you really for today, for coming out here and just talking about this, and just, I know you were wondering whether we were going to have enough to talk about it. And I've still got lists of stuff here that I could still ask you. And it's just, I think that what you're doing is fantastic. And I think that, that movement in the body is amazing. And you inspire me. You inspire me every time I talk to you. You inspire me every time I see you. So having you on the show and having you as part of my retreat is an honor and a privilege to me, because I think that you are an amazing individual and funny. She's very funny. Very funny.
I do like to laugh. I don't know how funny I am, but I do like to laugh.
She's controlled herself on the show, but
yeah. I can't believe this hour is over. I feel like we just scratched the surface. I could literally talk about Nia 24/7. So I'm amazed that it's already through the time. Like, it really went fast. So
it really went fast. So I want to thank everyone for coming to a master's practice. I'm Dr. Aisha Hogan. I want to thank my guest, Sarah Jean Butler. And I'm going to ask you all to just go hit niatv.fit. Go look at nianow.com. Check it out. And I know I'm going to right after I get off of here. So I'm going to go take a look at it too. So do that for yourself and just love yourself. Never forget to love yourself and to move. You got to move. Thanks a lot.
You got to move. Thank you, Aisha.
You're
Bye.
welcome.